everyone. Thanks for coming back and watching some more of our videos. Today it's going to be on our curriculum, and I keep telling you guys that I'm going to be doing it, and I finally have it all laid out and ready for me to talk about and share with you guys some of the things that we're going to do this right now. So we will move on to more things throughout the year. Once they finish a book, we order more books and we keep on going. There's always something that we have to purchase throughout the year to continue with what we need to do. As for Gage and high school, hold on 1 second. Okay, so I have some of the kids around me right now, so we're gonna try to do this video with them. Declan, why don't you come and sit by me while I do this for right now? Okay, so Declan's gonna come and join us for a little bit. But as for Gage and being in high school, or this is his first year in high school, we need to really have everything that he needs for this year. And a lot of it's going to be more electives that we have to tie in, and we're not usually having to do that. So he is involved in 4-H, and it's kind of Rockets for School program, and this year is going to be a little bit different because they're not doing the basic program that they usually do every year. This is going to be based off of a NASA program that they were chosen to do from last year's Rocket team. I don't remember what they placed last year. I don't remember if it was first or second. And then they just got chosen from NASA's student launch program to do a rocket this year. So maybe further in this year, I'll be able to record some of the activities and stuff with that. That's a pretty ongoing program through the year until next year, and then they have a chance of going to Huntsville, Alabama to launch their rocket there if they get chosen after many different proposals and different things that they do for the program. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's just a program that they have to see where their skills are at, and it's not just building a rocket, it's procedure writing, programming, using computers and all that to build this rocket. Usually these rockets aren't very cheap, so we have to kind of reach out to our community and raise money that way for them to be able to fund this program. But as for that, that's going to be part of Gage's elective for this year. Everybody else is just in a new journey of the year that they're going to be in. So Gage is going to be a freshman, like I said, and then Eli will be 8th grade. Or wait, I think he's 7th. Eli, you're going to be in 7th grade, right? Okay, so Eli's going to be in 7th grade. We don't always follow the school guidelines of what grade we're really in until we really need to focus on that. So he's in 7th. Hudson will be in 5th grade. Miles will be in 3rd grade. Declan right here will be in 1st grade. And then the twins are just, whatever, 4K that they call it now. So I'm not really we don't really do like 4K or preschool or stuff like that because they kind of just follow along through the year of what everybody else is doing. I think most homeschoolers, if this makes sense, by the time you start teaching your little ones schooling, they're already picking up on what the other kids are doing. They want to be tied in with everything that they're doing because they see that they're doing activities and having fun too. So they kind of just tie in, and when the time comes that they start kindergarten, they're already ready to start participating in some of the stuff that we do, whether it's sit down and reading for Bible or reading storybooks, coloring, painting. Like I said before, we just kind of tie them in no matter what. They don't just get to go walk around the house and do whatever they want to do. They still have to be tied into some of the activities that we are working on. Now, I can have maybe Miles, Declan, and the twins work on an activity together because they're at an age group where that one activity would be suitable for them. Or we could also have the older kids help with some of the activities. Just like if you were in a preschool setting, you would have helpers or reading buddies and people like that that could help with your younger children. Here I have older kids that can bring one to the side and say, okay, we're going to read this book today. Or, hey, I'm going to teach you what you need to do in English today. So it's not just based on parent teaching, it's also teaching other children to help other children, and not the aspect of, I know a lot of people get confused with parental responsibilities on their younger children. It's not like that. You're not teaching your children to take over your parental role. It's more, let's teach these older children to be guiders, to guide the younger children or help other people in the community, and not just be about themselves and focus on themselves, because at the age of teenagers, or like Eli would say is 12-teen, that's what he's saying that he is right now, is he's a 12-teen. So we want them ones to be the ones to guide our little ones, to show them to be the example, and we're still working on that. That's not, even with us as an adults, we don't always feel like, you know, hey, I see that elderly person over there, maybe she needs help. We don't always think of that because we're so busy in our own life. So that's one of the goals that we try to do with our kids. I'm not saying that our kids always do it. I'm not saying that it's always perfect, because we always struggle in everything that we do on a regular basis. We have how many boys in the house? Okay, there's always going to be a situation. There's always going to be somebody that doesn't want to help somebody else. There's always going to be that way. Or you have a lazy day or a crabby day, and you just don't want to do it. Or you just don't want to do school in general, so you're not really willing to help other people or the younger kids with their studies. Well, them are the days that we say, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? So then we just pull them out, pull them aside, and work on maybe attitude issues or guidance or structure in that aspects of teaching, and just drop your lesson that day. Sometimes I think a lot of people look past the attitude part as just misbehaving, and a lot of it's mainly we just need to, as parents, be guiders also. And me and my husband, we struggle with that sometimes, because we see a situation, we want to take it over, and we don't always solve it the right way. We get irritated, and then we just have to figure it out. You know, we all are in the same journey of life on helping our children grow in different ways. We all do things differently. You know, with us having a house full of children, we have different ages, different situations, different personalities, and how we do things. So if we can kind of tie some kids together and just work one-on-one with, you know, hey, like Declan here, hey, maybe he can sit with the twins and pick out some pictures and stuff, or look at picture books, or do mazes with them. It doesn't have to be like so demanding on a child for them to help another child. I think a lot of us just kind of, you know, send our kids out into the world and expect them to know how to behave, and it doesn't work that way. And then you wonder why they're misbehaving. I know I'm kind of going off the subject a little bit, but I'm just trying to give you an example of kind of the things that we do in a day of homeschool. Now, some years are really good with homeschool. Some years are really stressful. I know there's times where I'll kind of backtrack here. There's been years where there's such a demand in each subject that I have to help with that it gets overwhelming, and sometimes we don't even get through the whole day of studies because we're just really struggling with this one subject or whatever. And that doesn't really matter. I think everybody looks at the big picture instead of the small picture, and we just need to focus on what the overall, oh, my child doesn't get it, my child doesn't understand it. It's not about the understanding part, it's about the attitude of the child. Okay, so once you get fixed over the attitude part of it and just calm them down, there's things that you can work on with that and get them through that situation. So as for that, that's more or less like our homeschool attitude or goals, is to mainly focus on, okay, let's get our studies done. What can we do to help the other children with studies? And then, you know, we also have our normal day stuff with chores and lunch, and then trying to you have your lunch and it's like you're relaxed and you don't want to go back to your studies. So it's a trial and error through your whole entire day of some of the things that you need to accomplish. And we'll just work on that. Now, with the twins this year, they're not really into playing with toys that much, so it's going to be some things where, you know, if I have to help another child, you know, one of the biggest, just bring them outside. So there's always a solution to something that you're working on. Now, I'm not saying like I'm super patient. I know a lot of people come up to me and they're like, you got to be super patient. There's no way that I would be able to homeschool my children. I am not a patient person in any way. And my kids can vouch for me not being a very patient person. I like to get things done pretty quickly. And it's very hard for me to like set myself back and be like, okay, let's just do this. Let's just work on it. So I'm not saying that everything is perfect. I'm not saying, oh, you know, hey, I've been doing this for 14 years. It's super simple. It's just common sense in the things that you got to do. And it's not like that at all. So it can be a struggle. And, you know, we did this already with two of our children. We started from 6th grade, 3rd grade, I think it was, all the way up to high school year. We got done, you know, we did it. And I think every year you face different challenges and you pick different curriculums. And this year I have to say that I chose a little bit different curriculum, and it's not because I didn't want to spend the money. In some aspects, a little bit of that, but because I love the curriculum that we're using, and I am going to continue using it. But I found some other stuff that was, I guess, more pinpointing on certain subjects that we really need to accomplish and focus on, and that's the ones that I went with this year. I needed to stop doing some of the stuff that, you know, the kids were struggling, and I wanted to bring it back to a more basic, I don't want to say basic, and I don't want to say simple, but I wanted to say more structured. Like, it was just, okay, if we're going to be working on English this year, what are we working on in English? Is it sentence structure? You know, is it paragraphs? Is it writing? Is it stuff like that? So that's the things that I got our subjects more based on, is let's get to the point of what we need to learn this year. So as for that, I'm going to show you the rest of the video, and I will show you all the curriculum that I'm going to use for each child. And then I will post a lot of it down in the comments or in the description below, some of the areas or websites that you can go to get some of these products and curriculum, or just things that we are just going to use as crafts and activities. So as for that, then keep watching, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so while she's over here playing with this rice, you'll probably hear her in the background playing while I talk about some of the stuff that we're going to be using this year. So I want to start with this first. This is one of the things that I recently ran into on another video that I saw, how she had a sheet printed off. It's 180 days of school, and every day that you do school, you color in a picture. I just chose light bulbs because my husband is an electrician. I just thought it was fitting. So every day we're just going to color in a light bulb, and that determines how many more days of school that we need to do. So on here is 180 light bulbs. If you go to my website, 10 Kids in a Garage, and it's under our homeschool journey, you'll be able to print one off yourself if you want to use a light bulb or one of ours. But I think they have multiple ones on Pinterest too, of different ones. I thought that was like the coolest thing. For me, homeschooling for 14 years, and then this is my first time using it, I'm kind of sad because I wish I would have had one a long time ago. Okay, so as for Gage's stuff for right now, I do have a transcript here that I did print up. I made it myself. I do not have it on my website right now. I'm hoping to put that on this week maybe. And it's just a basic high school transcript. I hope I didn't miss anything. Now with my older boy, we did not do any of the ACT tests. He did that when he entered himself into school later on, so he went through all that. But I think with Gage, we're gonna do some like practice ones. So okay, so with this, for a homeschool high school transcript, this will just be for freshman year. We're gonna write down all his studies, all his activities, all his other things that he needs to do this year, electives like rockets and anything else that he's involved in this year is going to go in this freshman section, and then I'll just have it written down for each year. And if I need to change it up, I can always make another one, but then at least I have documentation of all the things that he did this year. Another thing that I did mention in my other video, I posted it in the description. Every year we need to register them through the state for their homeschool year. And I will leave that in the description again on the things that you need to go to do that. Okay, so as for his studies, we have his history over there in the brown book. That is our the Rodden curriculum, the North American history. So he'll be working on that this year. This is going to be all new because I don't know if a lot of homeschoolers do this or not. We don't always do some of the studies through the elementary years, but as for high school, we focus more on all the credits that need to be done. So he'll be doing history this year. And then as for English, he's going to do Our Mother Tongue, A Guide of English and Grammar by Nancy Wilson. This curriculum we used last year too, but we're going to do it again this year because we didn't get through the book. So this is, I think, okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. The lady that I watch on YouTube, and I'll try to leave her YouTube channel on there too. I think she has a family of 8 kids. And she put this on one of her Instagram stories that this is one of the curriculums that they used. And I just loved it. I loved the outline of the book. So that's what he's been using. Okay, as for math, we use Math-U-See. How they use it from little on. And I will show you that when I get that I was telling you about with Math-U-See. I'm going to kind of skip forward a little bit, but I just want to show you one thing of Declan's, and then I will get back to what I was talking about. So with Math-U-See in the beginning portion, when they start their schooling, they have a book like this. And then do you see the blocks in there? So they'll take certain blocks that are the same size, and then they have to figure out what the answer is. It's more of a hands-on math and a visual math. So we use the blocks from little on. We don't always use it in the older ones, but we do use it when they are little. And then that's another activity that the kids can use. The little kids, they like to stack them and build things with them also. So if you need to occupy your little ones, that's another thing to pull out. Okay, so let's go back to Gage's. Gage has, this year, is going to be doing decimals and percentage. If he can get done with this book this year, then we're going to be moving on to pre-algebra. With Math-U-See, they also have CDs that you can purchase separately from your school books. So when you purchase this is, I have the paper right next to me. It's $42 for the student workbook and then the test workbook. We don't always do testing, but we might this year because of Gage being a freshman. I think that might really help him practice testing and be prepared for later on in life when he has to do testing. But this program, you have to buy the Math-U-See CDs separate from this. And it's kind of pricey, but I got mine on eBay, and I don't remember how much I spent. But sometimes it's always good to like get involved on the homeschool or Facebook pages and stuff that do Math-U-See, or like a homeschool Facebook program that you can purchase from other people that are done with their curriculum that year. So that's what Gage is going to be doing for math this year. And then, and I don't always get the CDs. I only have a couple CDs because I can do mainly most of their math up to a certain grade. So this is going to be the first year he'll probably be a little bit more independent, and he can just kind of use this study or this CD for it, because it's a guy that will show him exactly what to do, and he can just kind of go on his own in his book. I check their work every day. The minute they're done or they try to walk away, I tell them to come back. Hey, let's look at what you did today. Let's check it. Let's make sure you did it right. And if they didn't do it right, they got to do it over. I don't wait a couple days. I would get so far behind and I wouldn't get anything done. So as for that, that's his math. And then we're going to move on to some of the spelling stuff that he has. Now, I know this might look terrible, but it's 6th grade to 8th grade. This is going to be a new book for Gage this year. Usually we use Rod and Staff spelling. But for right now, saying it's 6th to 8th grade. Some of my kids have excel in some things, and some of my kids excel in other things. And one of the things for Gage is spelling that he struggles with. So we're going to backtrack this year, like I was saying in the other part of the video. If my kids need to backtrack, that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to push my kids ahead if they're not learning anything. So these are some of the things that we're going to do this year for Gage and spelling. We're just going to get back to the basics and do these workbooks. This is the first year that I went on Amazon and I found some of these books. Otherwise, I do Rod and Staff, Matthew C., Abeka, I will branch off and do, and I always buy extra activity stuff that they can work on, but I'll get into that later. So this is going to be his spelling. We might even go back to some even more basic words, but in this book, it'll give him sections that he can use these words in and then give examples to what he's going to be using them for in that page or that lesson that day. Okay, as for writing, we're using Spectrum school books this year. We're going to be using them for some of the other kids too. And this one is writing. Focus practice for writing mastery. Writing a story, writing inform, writing an argument, using writing process, and writing handbook. So we got someone right there. So if you hear that noise, that's him. He's never really did a lot of sentence structure, and that's one of the things that we kind of lacked a little bit with our older two. We really wanted the younger ones to start writing sentences and getting that in this year, and from little on now we're going to get more sentence structure in with it. Having to write paragraphs, and that's just how it goes when you're doing English. And that's pretty much it for Gage's. We do not have science this year, but we do biblical history and science through reading Bible. And in the other years, we will be branching off and doing some of the other stuff that he needs credit-wise, chemistry, and all that other ones. If there's anything different that you guys want to see, just let me know. Otherwise, share and like this video. And then down below the video is a bell notification. If you press that and then press all, you will be notified every time that I upload another video. Then you won't miss out on some of the things that we're going to be doing this year with homeschool. And maybe some extra homeschool activities that we do. We do meet up with other people. I'll see how that goes, how interested in other people wanting to be in the video. I'm not sure this year. We'll see how the rest of the time goes. Other than that, thank you for watching.